Welcome to Elite 6 Think Tank, an open discussion group with business owners who share their knowledge, experience and skills.
Good morning, everyone. A couple of newbies here today. So welcome along. So we've got Nick. Keyboard, thank you. Not Nick. What do I call you, Nick? You're Nick.
I'm Nick.
You're Nick.
You're Danny, anyway.
Sorry, I'm Danny.
Who's Nick? You're Nick.
Kim, I knew it started with a K. So I get points for forgetting it starting with a K. That's good. So if you haven't been to our think tank meeting before, it's slightly different format. Rob Woolley isn't here yet, so when he does arrive, we'll give him a big cheer for being late again. That's why he doesn't run a train station. Well, especially an English one. So we've got 3 balls here. If you want to speak, put your hand up and I'll give you a ball. If you are speaking, you'll have a ball. And if you start to ramble on too much, I'll politely come up and grab that ball and pry it out of your hand, if you know how it works. So last week we talked, I forgot the theme last week, it was marketing versus advertising. And out of that discussion, we actually managed to come up with that people wanted to talk about vision. So all week long I've been introducing vision to Elite 6 groups, saying to come and listen to a talk about vision. And I was struggling a wee bit with an introduction on that one. So then I get my friend here, Leon, who's got a ball, catch, and who's going to explain how important vision is for him in his business.
Me personally, I think vision is everything. You've got to have a purpose and a goal, and if you can see where you want to go, you can break it down into steps. And that's how I sort of roll, but I understand that, and I accept a lot of people don't have any vision. I can have a vision of the most simplistic version and to try to explain it to my wife, and she has no idea what I'm talking about.
Video, I hope.
For me, everything that I do, I need to visualise the end product first, or definitely part of the end product to give me a first stage sort of thing. So yeah, I'm a big fan of vision.
That's cool. Get a ball back. Anyone else got an experience? Remember, we've got 4 parts to the meeting. The first one is experiences, solutions and problems. I'm going to do it backwards. Won't go for takeaways, but what problems have you had with your vision in the past? Have you all accomplished your vision? Nick, and then keep going. Stephen. The balls are good, aren't they? That's why we don't use bricks, mate. Alright.
I think not so much for us, but the companies I've been into with no vision also had no purpose for their stuff. So with vision and with kind of a concept of where you're heading in the end game and the steps it's going to take to get you there, then if all of the staff are on board with that, they're all going to head in the same direction as well. A company without vision can have staff going off in all different directions and things get complicated and weird and nobody's happy.
That's pretty cool. Actually, I like the purpose one, to be honest, because I was listening to a podcast on the way here and they talked about if you didn't have a purpose, the vision purpose. Mark, changed into a lady. Sharon.
Mark was just catching, he wasn't doing that.
Is that what you call it?
I wasn't expecting him.
I know that, he did.
Anywho, I would have mentioned it here before. For the first few years of business, I used to sit there and say, okay, all my goal was to get so many new properties on a month. And it wasn't until about 5 years ago that I sat down and went, okay, 5 years from now, this is what I want. And then you work backwards. And by doing that, well, see, I was saying, if you don't know where you're going, you can't get there. But also when the staff had more of an idea of where I was going, absolutely. Prior, they used to come to work, they used to do their job, they used to go home, because if I didn't have any goals, they just had to do their work and that was it. And they've definitely taken on a different process in their own minds going forward from starting in the future and working backwards rather than the other way around.
Thank you. I think you might have been first.
I'm going to change tack slightly, so if you've got something relevant to that. Yeah.
Not to that, but I've got, we can change tack a bit.
Okay, well I was going to say, with regards to a problem with vision or mission is identifying when the current mission or vision needs to be changed. So yeah, like pivoting when something's not working, like failing fast and identifying what your new vision is quickly. So I've learned a few lessons about that along the way. But, yeah, interested in other people's perspective on that.
Oh, wait, listen, I missed all that. Anyone like to put in a nutshell what Leon just said?
Might just be something I've struggled with.
Don't get stuck in your vision, be ready to change.
Embracing change, I absolutely on that.
And that's in our 5-year plan also, we know that there are going to be curveballs, so what we have is a perception to that.
So, I just want
Clarkson?
to make a comment. If I'm thinking about vision and I'm talking about mission, I see them as two separate things. The vision is literally what I see as the ideal situation that I want to come out of what happens with my business. Whereas your mission is a to-do statement, to do such and such and so and so. I'll give you an example of that from my vision statement. My vision statement is understanding through knowledge. Okay, and you may think that's a little bit strange to pick up with my company name, which is Dynamic Communication, but I can go and explain that a little further if I need to. But my mission statement is to help people build confidence through communication. That's my mission statement. So you see what I'm saying? So vision is if you like your almost esoteric view of what you see for your as the outcome of what you do, whereas your mission statement is specific to what you actually do.
I wrote the at least 6 years ago, the mission statement. I read it out for 5 or 6 years every week for 8 times. I forgot what it is. Yeah, it's on my website. Isn't that ironic? I was trying to think what our mission statement was. Thank you.
Is your name Sharon?
It is.
Okay, yes. What you said before, I worked for a company that was quite big and they had visions and everything, but some of the senior managers, they said they were into that vision, but it just didn't match up with them. So for staff, it was horrendous. So it has to match up for employees to believe in it and go that way, because when it doesn't match up, it's not nice.
You'll be. We've got one more first, Rob, and then we'll go for you.
Yeah, I kind of got taught the academic version of what the vision and mission is. And that is, Danny, that your vision may be, I want to see myself on the top of the mountain. And my mission is to work out what I need to do in order to get there. Now, hopefully you can break the mission down into one line which says, if I do this every day, I'm going to achieve it as a consequence. But what happens if you do not all work on the same mission and vision is that all those tasks that arrive up every day that are passed out to everybody who's in the organisation, they aim to complete the task. But if they don't know where everybody's aiming at, they may complete the task in a way that actually removes you away, ultimately, to make it harder to achieve your goal.
Ironically, I climbed a mountain a couple of weeks ago, and I did not find any academic people at the top of the mountain.
But you did get there doing one step at a time.
Yeah, I take that on board. Kim.
I was just going to say, I think it's important. Like, I worked at a place and they had a mission statement and vision, and it was this big, massive thing, and it kind of incorporate everything. And I think it's just good to have it simplistic, something people can identify to and sticks in your head.
On that note, can we think of some other companies that have a vision and what their vision is that comes out to mind while we're talking? Dave Clarkson?
No, this wasn't. This was stated.
No, one of my balls are black.
This was stated on a board that when you went into work in the mornings, you passed it every day, and it had on it, and you can decide for yourselves whether it's a vision for its mission. And what was stated was there was our aim is not to be the biggest, but to be the best. And so and that was United Fisheries.
All right. That's cool. Somebody's firing the ball. Oh, there. Vision statements. So it's vision, mission, what was the other one? Vision and mission. Do you need them?
I've got a question here.
Oh, goody.
Right, so if we leave here today and we go through our jobs for the next week and we have various tasks that we have to do and decisions that we have to make, if we don't have an ultimate goal of where we're going, how do we know that we've got closer to it?
So that would be, to me, what do they call that? Measuring, isn't it?
No, not necessarily. You know, like for example, you know, like if you today, you know, online, make 10 sales and 2 customers call you up and they've got a problem. How you deal with that problem will be influenced by, you know, your ultimate, you know, outcome. If you don't care, you're just going to end the phone call.
Yeah, that's what I do. Don't do a drop shipping company, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, thank you. Sorry, this topic's going to be hard.
And I agree totally with what you're saying, Rob, because at the end of the day, you can't set goals for yourself that are appropriate if you don't have something that you're aiming towards doing. And you know, by establishing our vision, what we see for our company, it could be, you can imagine everybody being in heaven or whatever, I don't know, whatever it is, but you get your vision sorted in your mind, and then you say to yourself, this is what I'm going to do such and such and so and so. Then you can go and set the sort of goals that are going to ensure that you actually do what it is that you want to do. Excellent. It seems to me that's the key driver for goal setting.
I think a lot of people have blurry visions. They aren't very clear on what they actually are trying to accomplish.
As what you were saying before, do you actually need a vision or a mission statement? I don't have one on my website, and no one's ever said to me, what's your vision or what's your mission statement? In my head, I guess I do, but I haven't put that down on paper or on my website. So do I need one? I don't know.
But isn't a vision and mission more for the company, not for the customer? I would put it on the website.
Yeah. I don't really have one as such.
The thing actually comes to mind is you can say some people are real visionary. Maybe their vision is so external that we see it. Is that a good way as well? Is that your name, Mark? Or Sharon?
Sharon.
You want to ladies first?
I'll go on to Sharon.
You can be quiet.
Just going back to what Rob was saying, if I look at my end goal, it's a certain number of properties under management and a certain level of rent. Now I'm quite some way off the number of properties under management, but then yesterday I was talking to this lady who has 2 properties and they are just well and truly outside what I want in the end. They're about $100 less per week on the rent level that I want at the end, and whilst I sort of and ahed and thought, oh God, actually I could take another 40 properties on at the moment without having to increase resources, I just walked away because I knew that wasn't where they were going to fit in the end.
Mark?
If we look at the vision and mission statement, it's in 2 different contexts depending on whether you're in a business or you're a sole trader thing. And using Rob's analogy before about the old mountain peak, really, and for a business perspective, it's like, you're in charge of a roading crew and your goal is to put a road up to that summit up there. And if you arrive on any given morning and your crew decided that they're going to cut different paths to get there, ultimately you could potentially get your whole workforce on that summit, but you actually haven't built a bloody road, which is your mission, because you've got to be able to use that road as a purpose. So that becomes your mission to construct that up there. But as a sole trader, and picking up a little bit on what Helen says, do we necessarily need to have an active mission and things? Because we're not taking anyone else on board with us. We do have responsibilities from people around us in terms of the income we generate, but our vision is often internalised. We do certainly have a mantra that we might capture in a one-line statement within our website. So mine within the insurance industry is ensuring that folk have got premiums with long-term sustainability and affordability. So that's my mission, I guess, but my pathway will be different as a sole trader than a company person where they've got to take the whole team with them if they want to get the maximum productivity.
I'm just thinking that listen to you here, it's having a personal vision and a company vision. So I would probably very like the personal vision faster than I would a company vision myself. Does anyone else feel similar to that? Or why is it easier to have a personal vision than a company one? Is one easier to attainable? Is one more controllable?
Well, one is talking about one person, isn't it? So you control that.
I don't think I've ever thought of a personal vision. Sort of go to work and be happy.
But your personal vision is the same as your company. Then at the end of the day, you just got you put a different hat on. You're still going down the same direction. You may go a different road because you've got a company structure. You all have different obligations, legal obligations, and things like that.
Hats give me headaches.
But the thing is just your goal is there, and it goes back to high school.
That's a long way back.
I know, there's a hell of a long way. And it was a man's reach should exceed his grasp. What is a heaven for? Robert Browning. And I think that's, I agree, we've got to have a vision and a goal. It's how you get there. It will differ on your business and things like that, but it's still, you've got to have a vision. I agree with what Rob said. Everyone's saying. Yeah.
So we're talking about vision. I find it quite a boring conversation, personally. Sorry. So I did have other topics we could switch to, because 17 minutes in we could be boring some of our listeners as well. Other topics that we were going to discuss at think tank meetings were security, procrastination, delegation, mental illness, mindfulness.
I'll interrupt you there. And I'll interrupt you by saying if you had a vision for think tanks, then we would start at 9:30 and go to 10:30 on the same topic and discuss it thoroughly, and we wouldn't be thinking about anything else.
What time did you get here?
Because I'm talking about you, because you're the boss. I actually think that vision, thank you very much. I think the problem with vision for most of us is that it's bloody hard and it holds us accountable. And every time, if we have a vision, we can wake up each day and say, are we closer there? Now, when Peter Blake tried to win the America's Cup, he had a simple principle when they were going to make any decision, change or whatever. Will it make the boat go faster? And if our decision-making or questioning process was every decision, every interaction I make with customer, every pricing decision, service delivery, whatever, is this going to take me to where I want to be as a business, then you will have a clear decision goal to say yes or no and take you out of the process, because if we leave ourselves in there, we are likely to take the easy path, which is not necessarily up the hill.
Very profound, very good. Nick, I'm just going to ask you a question. Have you ever wondered how those tractors plough those straight lines? I know Ian will know. They have two stakes, and they continuously keep the stakes in front of each other. But if they took his eye off what he was doing and had a look over his shoulder and go, oh, look at the lovely straight lines, he'd probably go crooked as hell. So by maintaining good vision in his path, you can, being really focused on where you want to go and where you want to take your business. What you were saying, Peter Blake there, he had one goal in mind and everything was questionable to that one goal. So we really, if we're here today, why don't we think about that one goal and how do we keep ourselves hell-bent on achieving it? But then do we need to set a whole lot of goals along the way to chomp through that? And is that where, because when I see a vision, I see a big massive gully in the middle, a trough. And I think, how do we get from here to here? Lots of small steps. So I think now we're back on topic. Thank you, Rob. And Nick.
Good call, Rob.
I think that question of whether your business goals and your personal goals, or your business mission and your personal mission, is probably, it's an interesting one, because I think for myself, if my vision for my life was the same as my company vision, I'd probably be disappointed in myself as a human, because there's so much more to me than there is what the company is doing. So I think while it's easier to rattle off a personal mission or a personal vision, because that is actually who you want to be as a person, that's just for you. That is who you are and who you want to be. When you're talking about a company mission or a company vision, you're talking about something that influences a lot of people, or it influences a lot of what happens day to day, but it's something you've actually got to sit down and make yourself think about, whereas we all innately know who we want to be as people. So that actually just kind of comes naturally, whereas doing it for your company, you've actually got to sit and think. And that's why you're probably finding it easier to work out a personal vision than to work out a company vision, because you've got to work on a company vision. You don't have to work, well, you do have to work on a personal vision, but not in the same sense, because it's something you're constantly working on.
A few weeks ago,
Sorry, is it because the benchmark is external to yourself for your company? It's something that's out there and it's visual and it's holding you accountable. Whereas we have that possibility of cheating ourselves on a daily basis. So that's the accountability aspect of it all.
So sort of I said a few weeks ago, I want to be a millionaire. But is that a vision? And then if I don't come up with ways, I haven't got a plan or a strategy, I just, believe it or not, my gut instinct says I'm going to fluke it when I do it, but I believe honestly it's going to happen. But then people say, why do you
stick with lotto, mate.
But it's like, I think, well, that's a vision of mine personally.
I can sell you a lucky rock.
What's that?
Improve your chances.
Would somebody be interested in buying that lucky rock off me for a profit?
$1 million,
In that particular case, you could say, my vision is to be a millionaire. But better still is maybe just to paint a picture of what it would be like for you to be the millionaire.
I think Uncle Scrooge, Donald Duck on that.
Leaping off the board into the pool of coins, gold.
It must have hurt though, eh?
Must have, But you could say, my vision is to be a millionaire. And the mission, therefore, is to earn a minimum or have a turnover in excess of, say, $2 million so that I can get $1 million a year.
One thing that really pissed me off once was somebody stuck a piece of paper on my my marker whiteboards with sellotape. Don't ever do that. And it was my wife at the time, and I said, look, we're doing really well in business, but we need to pay down the mortgage. And she wanted a horse truck. She had it already. So she said, well, we'll just go get a $20,000 horse truck. And I said, I don't want a $20,000 horse truck. We'll be spending all the time fixing it. So I said, why don't we pay down the mortgage and save for a horse truck at the same time? So she went to one of the magazines and she cut out a $275,000 horse truck and stuck it on my whiteboard with sellotape, which you don't do. And that was her vision. I think that actually ruined us. Because I felt that was unattainable, unfair. We only lived in a $500,000 house, and here she wants to spend $275,000 on a... Because she might have needed a big audacious truck for her vision, but the goal might have been not as big. It could have been a $50,000 truck.
I think there's something. No, but I understand her thinking, because I have a lot of horse friends, and they also have the same vision with these huge horse trucks. That is an underlying issue in the marriage though, because she wants to be in that horse truck rather than in your $500,000 house, because she wants to be with the horse and not with you.
And you went the horse.
I used to say if they could cut it up and snort it, they would. Well said.
I wonder if she's combined those goals now.
Has
She
she
had to sell the horses,
Really?
lose the horse property, the whole 9 yards.
I'll leave the next sentence to someone else.
All
We've
right.
already shut it down in this corner. It helps.
Our minds were wandering.
All right. Do we need to change topic?
I can.
I'm trying to change topic.
I was just going to make it clear.
You want a horse?
No.
It's all over.
No, I love them more than
I don't like
anything.
horses at all. To make it clear, a vision statement, I've just Wikipedia'd it. A vision statement is a declaration of an organisation's objectives intended to guide its internal decision making. And the mission statement is a short statement of why an organisation exists, what its overall goal is, identifying the goal of its operations, what kind of product or service it provides, and its primary customers or market. Just to make it clearer.
I didn't.
Did you
get that?
I think the problem is that it's abstract. And for anything abstract you can't visualize. And what David was saying before is that you can't say, I want to, well you can't, well you can say whatever you like, right? Yeah, very well. But you can say, I want to be a millionaire, okay, right? But that's a number, right? And a number never motivates and inspires anybody, right? But a feeling or emotion does. So what David was saying is quite a common thing now. They say, don't think about what you want, think about what you're going to feel like when you've got it. So if you had $1 million, how would you feel different to how you are now? You know, like if you wanted to upgrade your car every year, bang, you can do it. If you want to go on a holiday, like a month, like every 6 months or whatever, you could do it. You could do whatever you want. You would feel powerful. You would wear flash clothes, etc. And you'd have a chick that's into horses, right, with a great horse truck out the back, completely satisfied every time she comes in the house and looks at you. But coming back to vision and mission, I think there's one great thing that has come up here that I picked up on, is that when you have a personal vision or mission, the only person who needs to act on it is you. But when you're achieving a vision or mission for a business, it's out of your hands, because you have to rely on other people to help you. You have to rely on your suppliers, your customers. You have to influence not only yourself, you've got to influence everybody that you interact with to get where you want to go. And that's why it's hard.
Okay, alright. Still don't like the topic. Sorry guys, you're going to win me over. Vision. Oh, Sean. Hey Sean, again. Sean.
Hey.
Can't multitask.
Yeah, got it.
Right. All's not important. Alright, that's making intelligent.
Talking about visions and missions, blah blah blah. What's your mission? What's your vision? I don't know. I mean, I never thought about that. But in the end of the day, where you wanna be? So that easy questions will come up. People can know the answer straight away. Personally, I just wanna be financial free. But the truth is, I'm currently working on like a horse.
Oh my God, can I use the horse?
No, you're
That's the next topic.
Horses are
So,
financially free.
back to the questions. You have business, you have people, and you rely on them. They're making money for you. But if you're in the financial free positions, the business running itself, you don't have to check many energies in, and then you do whatever you want, possibly keep working, because people are like retired in the early 60s, where people really want to keep working until the death. So
great topic, I think. Financial freedom. How do we get to financial freedom? Because I think everyone not. I know. And we're not here. Yeah, so we can merge. So how do we get to financial freedom? Does anyone not want that? Yeah. Who doesn't want it?
I really want to do that. I don't care what other people say, but I really want to do that.
Yeah.
Yesterday was like, oh my goodness, what I'm doing right now, because I have to keep training the new staff, and I can't really live there for a particular job. It's gonna mess up. You have coding bags, and have to highly involve it. I'm not really in that position.
Mm-hmm. And your wife was complaining about you the other day. Not spending enough time with it. So everything comes at a cost, doesn't it? Yeah. So how do we get to financial freedom? That's a good topic.
That's your personal opinion, though, what your vision is. It might be for someone actually might like working a lot.
Yeah.
They do, and it's just personal for you that
but
it's
financial
not.
freedom, you can keep working. It doesn't really, the working is, if working has become your hobbies, you still can working. But if you feel a bit tired, you can take a rest at any time you want.
Yeah.
That's kind of like financial freedom. You don't work for your life. You work for your hobbies. So if you like work, you keep working. I like work, I keep working. I can't really say I'm retired. There's no retire for me.
So I'm thinking of going to Bangladesh in a month or so or two, time right, because you've got to do that. And the problem is I have to wait for you guys to have a holiday. It will shut down, and then I can go on holiday. But I want to go to Bangladesh tomorrow. It's not going to happen because I'm in my business.
It would if you had a vision.
Thank you.
Look, I've just made a decision. I want to refine my vision. I want my staff to have financial freedom. I don't only want myself to. I want anybody that engages in my business.
No, Daniel's left.
No. My staff are my biggest asset. I've been in a company where they've told me that staff are dispensable, use and abuse, and my staff are my biggest assets. So I've got a new vision that I only don't want to be the only one financially free in my company. I want all my staff to be financially free.
Should you just do that first yourself?
Actually, I like that because you guys are kind of like my funny. What did you say? Your staff are your biggest asset? Because it's the same in my business. So if you look at that and thought, well, you guys are my biggest assets, unfortunately. Who's your biggest asset in your business?
Nicely said.
You're an antique dealer, right?
Right, well, there's only me.
Yeah, but who's your biggest asset?
Me.
No, people buy your stuff.
No, it's me.
Well, you can't
No
sell it.
knowledge, no business.
Yeah.
He doesn't own the people who buy his stuff. That's
we're wrong.
No, and if I did, I'd sell it.
Yeah. Can I tell you my watch on trading by the way? Do you want to buy one at the moment? Just a bit of a sneaky idea.
Dollar Reserve, eh?
It is. You look.
I have a cartoon here, right, which I would just like to share. It's about a little dog, okay? And the dog is sitting in a chair, and the two humans are saying, "Isn't that cute?" And then they dress the dog up, and they go, "Wow, this is more cute." And then it kind of, goes on as the dog is dressed up in the seat of a car. Oh, look at that, he's driving. Oh, and now they've got a bag for him. Oh, look, he's going to work. And then the dog is now all dressed up, and they're pretending that he is drinking alcohol at the weekend. And then the last one is the dog having a look at the photo of when the dog was just a dog and was really happy. And I think that Sean raises a really interesting point, is that in the Western capitalist society, we are taught to have a vision, a lofty goal, and we must work hard every day to achieve the goal. But actually, for most of us, in reality, we don't have the lofty goal. We work every day to be not necessarily financially free, but relaxed, and we're able to buy what we want most of the time, all right? And no stress. And so are we on a constant conveyor belt trying to get up to the top of the mountain, which we may never ever get, and along the way we're going to die and we're going to think, well, in fact everybody else who was at the car park at the foot of the mountain, you know, had a really good life with no stress, and they don't really care about the top of the
Yeah, they
mountain.
had a barbie and a few drinks in the car park.
Yeah.
Yeah. How lazy and unmotivated. Okay.
But is that wrong?
Is it
Your
wrong?
goal might be to have $1 million. My goal might be to have 500,000.
I don't know, when I'm 85 I might think it was wrong. I don't know. Good question.
But you are a millionaire in Lima.
Have you got a ball?
No.
Good. She's going to bring up horses again.
I was listening to a really interesting podcast today, and it's going on a little bit of what you just said, Rob, is that this lady's, her vision or mission or whatever you want to call it, but she has basically 3 things that guide her business. The first thing being principles, second profit, and the third people. And she's being judged based on what her principles are, or what the order of that. And she said the principles are what guides my business and how I operate. I can't operate if I don't have a profit, because there will be no business that serves the people. So I don't know whether that
They're all
kind of...
intertwined though.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But if, she said the reason why it's in, she said, I'm not undervaluing my people, but if I can't make a profit and serve myself first, I'm no good to anybody else.
The principal one, is the principal's the first one?
Principles, profit, and then people.
That does not resonate with me at all, that word, for some reason. I mean, I'm thinking ethics and values and the principle. I don't know, what's that word mean for a dyslexic person?
That's interesting. One of the guys that we know, and that bears out what you're saying, he was in the end working for his staff and not for himself, and he said, hey baby, not the name of the game, and gave it away.
Yeah, and unhappy, I'm sure.
And unhappy. He's much happier now, that's for sure.
The topic's getting better and it's 12 past 10, so we've, it's good, I quite like it
It's
now.
quite interesting because you actually came in this morning saying that you were in a really negative mood.
I did not.
What did he say? Whinging.
Yeah.
If you had a vision, you'd still be looking at the top of the mountain with a smile on your face.
I just didn't get
You're in good humour.
I did. We had a fantastic meeting out there.
And then you go back like a horse stepping along the
I really enjoyed our horse days. You know, like, I'll go on about the horses actually. So we had a lifestyle property and it was all built around horses, paddocks.
That's amazing.
You know, we've got yards and we've got a $40,000 jumping arena and we've got, what else do we have? Sheds, we had a Prado, we had a horse float, we had 2 horses, had jumps, we had vets visiting, farriers visiting, people who shear them, shorn them, whatever they do to them. And then we needed saddles for them and we were never happy with what we had and never we were content with what they had. And most people would come onto our property and go, wow, and you guys are really happy. And you sort of think, well, that's funny. From one person's perspective, we look like we're deliriously happy, obviously, but when you're living in there, you're freaking out about keeping it all going.
But was that you? Are you saying that that was your belief? It may not have been your wife's belief.
She was never happy, was my point. She was never content with what she had. I mean, who wouldn't want a big business networking company with so much money and so much demand and be niche? Yeah, I would. But the reality is, I love what I do. I love the nicheness of it. So it might not be my big vision, but you can still really love what you do along the way and be content with what you've got. I'm not waking up in the morning and going, I wish my business was this. Maybe that's why I don't carry a vision that's too audacious or too big. But I still want to pretend I'm sailing in that direction.
Oh, well, if we're going to talk about horses, I used to be a horse man.
No, we're not. What? Take the ball off us.
So from 1987 to 1999, my entire life was horse racing. And the interesting thing is that I never planned to do one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time up the mountain. Your plan was, I hope, the next horse that comes on this property is the cup winner, you know? And it's almost like playing lotto. Absolutely. Yeah, almost as much as I'd like to what you, Danny. But the thing is that I guess you've got a couple of options, right? You either really enjoy what you're doing, because I'll tell you what, probably the happiest time of my life, even though I didn't have much money, was actually training those horses. Because every day you went out there and you had a win, you know, right? The horse worked well, looked better, paced better, whatever it is, than the day before, you know, right? There was nobody overseeing me or whatever. It was just, you know, you go out there and you train your horses. And you didn't have any massive aspirations, because you thought one day.
So, obviously having a vision, you can accomplish more, because if you didn't have no vision, you wouldn't be going anywhere perhaps. And you may not be hiking.
The problem is, I guess, when you are married, for example, which it's like a company in that way, because they are two different, not two, but you know, more than one person, and you have to kind of get it all on one train into the future, because you didn't have the same future in your vision.
Well, it's an interesting scenario, that, because when my wife was into horses, I went along to all the horse events. I was the only guy. There'd be 50 people settling up horses and doing all that sort of stuff. But I said, if you're going to do things, we do things together. And eventually we decided that you go do your horse things and I got into target shooting. And I reckon that's where we went our own separate ways.
Did you shoot the horses?
The end of my target shooting range was in front of the arena. But I did shoot, yeah. Alright, so where did we get to?
I'm not very good.
About the horses and the poverty. I used to have the same life what you just described.
Yeah.
And
poor husband.
no, he liked it actually.
He said that.
He is divorced, of
He's
course.
gone now,
But stop it! I think it's now because like I have lost all of that, and I think it will make me more appreciative in the future when I accumulate that again, because then I will probably appreciate it more, love it more. And maybe that's also with the vision that sometimes people, they can't appreciate what they have right now. And it's like a human nature, isn't it? We are always striving to go somewhere else. You know, it always needs to be something else.
It's a really interesting thing, because I promise you, every single morning I wake up, I used to say to my wife, we're so lucky to be able to live like this, work from the property, wake up in the morning, we used to work 3.5 days a week. You know, and you used to think, you know, it's a dream to be able to, because what we did do is we really had total control of our lives, and we weren't governed. I used to have a passive income coming in on the 1st of every month that paid all our bills.
With the horses? Did the horses work?
No, they were the colander. Well, horses are like colanders. And you put them in there, and they have these really big holes, and the money just goes straight through. But I mean, that's what we're talking about, isn't it? Financial independence. Be able to create a business which doesn't enslave you, that you wake up every morning thinking, cool, I'm looking forward to going to work on a Monday. I think Helen said to me the other day that she looks forward to Mondays, and she used to not like Mondays because it used to be the start of the grind of the long week. So is that where we're heading?
But she's now doing what she loves.
Yes, I love
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
That's probably not happy in you know, one of those jobs where you want to do that for the rest of your life.
No.
So you've got another goal in mind while you're working your job, and is that the bigger vision? You know, like I say, I want to be a millionaire. You know, I like doing this, but I don't want to do this when I'm 85 on the pension, walking in here going, morning guys.
Do you get a pension?
Oh, I don't know. Probably sell the horses.
You want to get a shop?
Perhaps where we've actually come to in a kind of roundabout way around the mountain, up and down, and you know,
Can you get us
is you know, like if you're quite happy actually where you are.
Shake your hands.
Oh, you know, like, if you're happy where you are, everything's hunky-dory. If you're not happy where you are, then actually maybe, right, you need to step back and you just go, well, where would I be happy? You know, what does happiness look like? And say that's my vision. And each day that I'm going to work on this business, which isn't really fulfilling me, I'm going to work a little bit harder because that is my payday. You know, And if you're quite happy with what your payday is today, you don't need a vision, you do not need any mission, all right, because you're just fine. And I think, you know, if I look back and I look at where I am today, I'm bloody happy today. And I'm happy today because I'm happy right where I am. All right, I'm in this room. I don't have any huge bills, whatever. I know, because you're just so hot, Sharon. You just make my day every time I come and look at you. You know, what else do I need?
What about the rest of us?
Okay, where do we go with that?
I need to disagree with this gentleman because
I don't think you're allowed to actually.
no, I mean I'm very happy today, and I get up and I enjoy my day, and I can pretty much go and buy what I want to buy or whatever. I still have a vision that the business is going to be bigger.
Yeah.
It's not going to probably make me any happier or any more financially free or any more anything. But my personality says it needs to be bigger.
Talking about Sharon's personality. One thing I know you reasonably well for the last 4 or 5 years, isn't it? You seem to be able to switch your work off. And I think the reason why you can do that is because you've always had that intention to put life first, business second. And I find I struggle with that. I mean, I haven't always had that vision. The first few years I was all about grow, and then I just woke up one day and went, fuck this. And that's when life became more important to me than the business. But the business has still got to grow because, yeah, as I say, I think it's more of a personality trait than anything else. Very good, guys. Very good. Now we have got 21 minutes past 10. Nick has a ball, so he's busting to say something. Helen's got a ball as well. We haven't got many problems with not having a vision. And then Mark's, we've got a whole lineup already. Should we start with the lady first, Nick? Yeah. Because she's my girlfriend and I'll get in trouble if I don't need to go first.
I was going to say what you were saying, Sharon, that having a not necessarily having a vision, but always wanting more. You know, we're built as humans to always want more. So, you know, you win lotto, you win 16 million. That's fantastic for a while, but you're always going to want more. And you're always going to drive to get more. And it's just in us that we want more. And I guess that's why they say a lot of people aren't happy when they win lotto, because, you know, they get to that point and then they always want more. So, you know, in our businesses, we can get to a point where we're very successful, but we always want more. And so we're not satisfied. It's that satisfied thing, I think, you know, never satisfied.
Some people I met, they won $14 million. Next thing I know, they're doing P. What the hell?
Follow your dreams.
With a little bit of help from your friends.
Amazing. Nick.
I think that ability to separate personal and business is that same concept of having a very different personal vision and personal mission to your company vision and mission as well. And that probably stems from having a company that's more than just you. It's again that difference between sole trade and because you still have to have that company vision and mission, because even if it no longer fully aligns with your personal vision and mission and where you're heading, you still need that to keep everyone else heading in that same direction. So it's that same concept of, hey, I've got my own personal vision and mission for where I want my life to be. I've got one for my company. They align in the sense that the company one is based on what I want for my company vision and mission, but it's not actually my personal vision and mission. My company does not complete my life. It is just, it's part of what I'm doing, but it's not,
I guess my emerging takeaway from this is, it goes back to Sean's point, staying away from horses. I would recommend llama, the farmer. But I reckon it's around just having that sense of financial freedom. And I sort of take issue a little bit with Helen in terms of always wanting more. And maybe it's because I'm just a couple of years older that you actually get to that point in life where you actually feel quite comfortable about where you're staggering to.
Are you 55?
Oh, 53 and a half. But, Anyway, so I guess the point I'm making is that there are some people out there who will win the lotto and will blow it. But equally there are people out there, because they've had their skills in life that they've used it well. We don't hear about those stories though, and I'm sure those people are out there. And it's the difference between every one of us here, that if we were to get a windfall, we'd all operate in a different way. But for me, it's just to have that financial freedom. I'm happy with what I've got around me. I'd love my mortgage paid off and those sorts of things. End goal for me. Yeah.
When do you cash in? Well, okay, let's say you sold all your, let's say you sold all your house really well, and you're going to live on some island somewhere. You probably sustain yourself for the rest of your life, right?
Yep.
So why don't we do that?
We have commitment.
Too many islands.
Who wants to be stuck on an island?
Yeah.
They're not enough islands.
Very hot. It's really.
Yeah, under the
Too much sand.
All right, where do we go with that? We've got 5 minutes, so we should be really talking about takeaways. And we did seem to scrape this topic into something, so well done, you guys. One ball from Danny. Good catch. No.
No, I just want to say what you're talking about, going to a tropical island and working. I think you could do that for a certain amount of time, and anything that you do anyway is going to get too routine. So you'll love it at first, and then you'll go, oh, I'm sick of this bloody tropical island. Yes, it's lovely and hot, but I want to be in a big city or whatever. So
Where's the McDonald's?
yeah. So it's that thing again of never being truly happy and satisfied, because it gets routine, it gets boring.
I like travelling. Maybe that's what because that's always really
constantly
exciting.
moving.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
Full-time traveller. So become a travel agent. I now have to work along the way. Not so exciting anymore. Okay, well, actually, Heike.
Maybe for next week we could make ways of becoming financially independent, and I know you have already some things set up.
You can have any topic you like next week.
Is there none? Are you in Bangladesh next week, trying to eat all the insects?
I like the idea of financial freedom. I think that's a really good topic.
And how to get there?
Holiday.
No, I don't want holidays.
What is this?
I'm in control. So takeaways from today, vision, did anyone think they had a vision?
The channels to getting there for all of us.
Hey, your ball is spoiled.
Oh, let's get some water.
I find it interesting that this the conversation gravitated around money. And I actually sat back and I thought, what if we were running a business, or if we were doing some other project or whatever, that our vision may not have anything to do with money. It may have, to weight loss, climate change, like a big, hairy, audacious goal or whatever, and it would be really interesting that I think maybe where the vision and mission comes into, if there's several people working on a big goal, that you all need to align where are you going and how are you going to get there. And maybe because most of us in here are self-employed, that we kind of have the luxury. We don't have to have a vision and mission because we're just aligning ourselves. But if there's a group of us and we're all going towards one goal, we all have to be aligned.
I would love to set a goal with a group of people like this that's attainable, and that we all keep everyone accountable for. I don't know what that would be. If you use weight loss and we say, right, in the next 2 weeks we're going to lose 2 kgs. And
why are you looking at me?
Darling, make it 5 kgs for 5 kgs for you, then. Yeah. All right, then. What do I not know your name? I've known you for 25 years. Ian.
It's just a comment, but I agree with Rob.
Really?
It's one Rob for Rob talking about money, and I think it's very easy to drift off. The ultimate wealth is health, and about 3 weeks ago, I was told of a chap that he's a multi-millionaire. He's just turned 65. He may get to Christmas. And I think everything's got to be in perspective, and there's got to be a balance in life. And to concur with what you're saying, Sean, is well, there's going to be a balance, and it's important to, I believe, to have goals. But one of them is to have the goals within family and friends and all that, and that is what this business should encapsulate. That's just my thoughts on it.
So
we're all self-starters. We're all self-starters here. So we're all individuals who are goal-focused, but everything's got to be put in balance.
So you might want to have my own income and pay all my own bills has always been a struggle, because you need money to pay your bills. And, but when you look back and think, shit, I've been doing this for 25 years now, and I've never really had anyone knock on my door for money, except my ex-wife, bloody horses. But you sort of think, well, you've got to remember that you can enjoy life along the way and all that sort of stuff. Kim, you had your hand waving.
Oh, that's right. I was just going to say, I agree, and all those things like your friends, family, that's wealth. That is, and that's your base,
yes.
And the other things can build up from that, but that's like the key, because money's done when you're happy.
I think sometimes just, to me, it's like giving yourself a bucket of the line, where you self-sustain yourself. I mean, Mark's talked about it with income, it's troughs, highs and lows. And now he's got that line and he cuts it right across and he says, I'm actually above the line, I'm in business. I think that's the biggest fear when starting out. It's 10:30. Thank you very much for coming along today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Sorry, I seem to have come across as a negative son of a gun. Don't know why.
You should refocus.
Yeah, and remember, listen to the podcast, hear yourself on there, and if you speak really quietly like this, we still pick you up on microphone. Okay. And no meeting next week. Peace out.